Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Devil's Den, and we are back. Just finished watching Game 3, Florida Panthers versus Edmonton Oilers, and the Florida Panthers are one game away from sweeping the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. I genuinely did not think it was going to go down this way, guys. I originally said Florida in 6, but I think that there is a very big likelihood that the Florida Panthers sweep Edmonton in the next game, which will be, I think, super ironic for the biggest reason I still can't speak this language despite speaking it all my life. Wow, holy crud, I am not having it. Okay, let's try that again. So, it'll be especially ironic for one particular reason. A Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup in, I think, what are we going on, 30, 40, 50 years at this point? We are one game away from an American hockey team winning a Stanley Cup on Canadian soil, which is going to make it the funniest thing ever when the Oilers get swept, which I feel like, again, is a pretty strong probability. But let's talk about tonight's game. Let's not worry about Saturday night's game. Let's talk about tonight's game. First and foremost, Bobrovsky having another all-star performance. Edmonton Oilers putting up nearly 40 shots on Bobrovsky. He basically keeps the game at 1 the entire time, except for the last 10 minutes of the third period, where Edmonton starts trying to make a comeback, but Bob shuts the door, including what feels like an almost split save, direct, like 2-3 feet in front of him, to keep this game a 4-3 game. That potentially goes in. You're going to overtime in Edmonton with all of the momentum their way, coming back from 4-1. That is a crucial game-saving save, and he does. Bobrovsky keeps it out, and I'll be honest with you guys, the goals Bobrovsky let in tonight are questionable at best. Not in their authenticity, but the way in which they went in. You have 1 or 2 goals where they're literally tipped in at the last second, and Bob's got absolutely no chance at this. So, I don't know. Bob, in my opinion, still personally a Conn Smythe option. I think if he doesn't win, I don't know what people will be thinking, but my opinion, he's the front runner for the Conn Smythe this year. Maybe Reinhart, maybe Barkov, personally, Rodriguez as well, Evan Rodriguez, who's played a phenomenal, not only this series, but a phenomenal postseason, should definitely be up for the Conn Smythe as well, in my humble opinion. But enough about Florida, enough about me gushing about Florida, let's talk the Oilers. So, do you guys think, and this is an honest question, do you guys think that Edmonton has anything left to give? Realistically, do they have anything left in the tank to give to Florida, to throw at them, to try to, to save their lives, pull themselves out of this hole that they've managed to find themselves in? They are down 3-0 against a team which I don't think can be beaten at this point. They are that good, okay? Edmonton looked, especially in that second period, looked so freaking gassed, especially that last 5 to 7 minutes of the second period. They looked so tired, so exhausted, so beaten, broken, and bruised by Florida that, I don't know if Edmonton has anything left to give. Does Connor McDavid... Does he have anything left to give? He got an assist tonight, great, but no goals so far. The great Connor McJesus, not a miracle in sight. I don't know. The great Leon Draisaitl, what's he done besides elbow a guy in the head? I don't know. It feels like Edmonton is throwing everything they can at Florida. They've beaten them in shots 2 out of 3 games of this series. It might even be all 3 games at this point. But Bob has been so good that I genuinely, like, what do you guys think? What does Edmonton have to do to win 4 games straight? Because that's the task in front of Edmonton. Win 4 games in a row against arguably the best team in the NHL, which has had your number every single game. And again, it's not to say that Edmonton has played badly, because they really haven't. You look at games 1, Edmonton absolutely wins that if Bob does not play career-level hockey, right? Game 2, Florida comes back a little bit, but game 2, Edmonton's still playing really well. Third period, they're out shooting them. They have more time in the offensive end. They have more pressure on Bob. They're doing everything they can, but they can't seem to get it done. And it seemed like every time Edmonton had a really great chance, Florida counterattacked and went right the other way and managed to get some weird goals. Goals 1, 2, and 3 were super weird goals where Edmonton has all the pressure for 2 to 3 to 4 minutes in a row, and then Florida just picks it up and goes the other way, and it goes in on like a 2-on-1. And I feel bad for Skinner, and I feel bad for Edmonton fans out there. I really do. I feel bad for you guys, because do you guys have anything left? Is there anything left in the tank that they can kind of scrounge down and make this series not interesting? Because the games have been good, but the series and the scores do not reflect how good this series has been. And that's what I want to make sure I'm clear on. This series has been very entertaining, very good, a lot of storylines, a lot of narratives, all kind of coming together to make a really great series that I feel like the numbers, they just don't do it justice. You look at this series, you look from an outsider's perspective, and you see Florida is up 3-0 on Edmonton, and you're thinking, damn, they're already up 3-0 in 3 games? Man, Florida must be just walking the park with Edmonton. But they're not. They're really not. They're just taking advantage of the best opportunities to poke the puck in the back of the net. They are so hard on the puck, so physical, and I swear to God, they must be the best team that I've seen in years when it comes to takeaways and turnovers. They're so good at stripping the puck off of Edmonton every single time Edmonton tries to get a chance on them, whether it's on the rush and they're defensively using the stick to poke it away, to deflecting the puck away from their own net, to stick checking. They're so good at being able to get that stick in there, poke it away, stick check, whatever it is, get the puck and counterattack like that. And it's so fast. It's so quick. You turn around, Edmonton's on the rush, and all of a sudden, Edmonton's standing there, no puck on their stick, and Florida going the other way. It's crazy how good Florida is. And I'm so glad game 1, not even game 1, my prediction for this series, and I was sort of 50-50 on whether or not Florida had the better defense. I'm so glad I said that. I was dead right. I was absolutely dead right. Because their defense is it's this smothering, I almost want to call it an anaconda defense. Because they get in there and they suffocate these Edmonton guys until they squeeze the life out of them. And then they're gone just as fast the other direction to put the puck in. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Game 4 leaves. I think Florida sweeps. I really do. I think Florida wins next game. Unless something drastic happens. Because even if Florida doesn't play well, they still have to answer Bobrovsky. Which, end of the third period of this game, they kind of do by getting pucks in front of them and getting guys in front of them to really cause issues. So maybe they do that in Game 4. But they have to basically, from the start of the first period, just pepper Bob with shots and hope to God they go in. Because otherwise, I don't know. I do think this is going to be a sweep. I think Florida wins it on Saturday. Winning a Stanley Cup in Canada would be very interesting because it's going to go to an American team, but I digress. But yeah, I don't really have anything much more to say. It's just that I feel like, again, it feels like the numbers don't reflect how good this series has been. Both teams have played really, 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 really great hockey. Both goaltenders have been great. Both sides of the puck have been great. There hasn't been necessarily a singular bad thing about either of these two teams. But again, with a series that looks like 3-0, it doesn't give the credit where I think the credit is due for the Stanley Cup Finals. So, that's going to be it, guys. I'll be back on Saturday night for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. We'll see if it's a sweep. If it is, on to next year, on to the offseason. But if it's not, we will continue to be doing these videos. But yeah, on that note, guys, adios, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.